let's start with the reason that we are putting out this episode late.
Oh my goodness.
It's a brand new release right out here on these streets. Matthew Figueroa has been investigating. We sent him in as a reporter. He's come back from Russia with news of
actual news.
Atomic Heart.
Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to get the footage up here.
A very Bioshock looking, not Bioshock game apparently, according to the developer. But I will forever look at this and be like, this is Russian Bioshock, because that's what it looks like.
I mean,
maybe it isn't, because maybe it's not an immersive sim. Maybe it's just a flat-out action-adventure game. And maybe that's why it's not Bioshock. I don't know.
It's I'm just trying to get the footage up here.
I've been trying for so long to give you time.
There we go. Well, you threw me off guard here, because I was thought we were going to talk about that other wizard game.
We're talking about this wizard game.
Just to set the stage settings. Yeah, there is some there are question marks around this game, because I think when it was first revealed, I started hearing but it's a game made by Russian studios, been funded by the Russian government. And then when
this game was announced ages ago, by the way.
Yeah, 2017, I think. So it was a long time ago. So just going into the game, I tried looking up. There's no solid confirmation. Okay, there's a lot of questions around the studio, but that's not the point. This game, Atomic Heart, takes place. I think it's based in 1955. It's set in an alternate Soviet Union state, so to speak, in a facility called 3826, which
rolls off the tongue.
It just rolls off the tongue. My understanding is that this is just like a little tucked away community that does science research, or something along those lines. I've only put in a couple of hours. But the reason we all feel that this is like Bioshock, because like Bioshock had its plasmids and, was set in an alternate 1920s, 1930s underwater world, or
and in like a secluded
city.
Location where science could go rampant.
A lot of very similar parallels here. But like Bioshock had its plasmids, this game has its technology is called polymer, which some scientists, discovered. And essentially the basics of it is you can learn an entire university curriculum with this technology just by taking I don't know what it's like. You for lack of a better description, you can transfer it from a device to your body. Okay.
That sounds sick. Would have been helpful.
Which is very, very cool premise. That it feels very Bioshocky, even just in the setup, because as most games go, things are all peachy until they're not.
It is interesting watching this footage. It looks very Bioshocky, and it's
like Bioshock Infinite, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Bioshock Infinite. Just like the scroll, it's like walk through the city and see the little parts of what makes it tick before it goes to hell.
Are you ready to have your mind blown? I'm on a floating city.
Of course.
Not a word of a lie. Okay, the game doesn't take place, you're not here for long. But needless to say, so the basic premise of the game is that there's a big, quote unquote update happening, a big reveal. This polymer is being taken to the next level. But unfortunately, things go haywire and the robots turn on humans. Because another aspect of this game is that manual labor has been taken away from humanity for good reasons, because robots have been invented and they do all the, again, quote unquote, meaningless labor, leaving humanity, or leaving this community to focus on, just chilling, doing arts and science, that sort of thing. But the robots turn on the humans, and hard cut to you. You are just your character. His name is P3. He's got a connection to the scientists, which I haven't discovered yet. But it seems that you owe the scientist your life, or he's done something big for you that you're kind of devoted to him, because the robots go haywire, and it's on you to help figure out what the hell's going on, and that involves just running and shooting a lot of things. But yeah,
these robots are very creepy looking.
Very creepy.
Very creepy.
But I will say, there's definitely a Bioshock feel to it. So I just want to scrub through the footage so you can actually see some action, because you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, audio listeners, you're missing out. Just imagine a modern day Bioshock and you're there. Oops, that's not the right scene.
Well, it would be sort of similar time as Bioshock Infinite, I guess. Yeah.
It feels very similar, but I think what I want to praise this game about first out the gate is the visually. It is gorgeous. I think it looks great. It
looks really good. Yeah.
And the art direction is just, it's phenomenal. Like, so I know I'm cutting through the footage here, but there was one moment here when you walk into the one building and you just, I think it wasn't this one, but there's one building you walk into, and I mean, even just look at this, the city, it's just like beautifully designed. It looks great.
A really good like sense of place in this like alternate universe. Yeah. Very cool.
So I can't give the game enough praise on that front. So I'm very distracted. But yeah, in terms of gameplay, it's going to draw a lot of the Bioshock comparisons, because you have a glove called. It's funny because it's called Chols, like it's written Chols, but they pronounce the glove as Choles. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
And this glove gives you certain abilities. Like, for example, are you ready? Your first ability is you can send out a shock from your glove. Very much
cool,
like Bioshock.
Just like the first Bioshock, I could electrocute people. Okay.
You can electrocute people, but it's also, this glove acts as a vehicle for all things you do in this game, at least in my opening hours. So like when I heal, for example, I hold up a pod to my glove and I've got these little nano wires that like suck health out of it. So it like serves as the foundation for the game.
So they're kind of trying to make it very clear that it's not magic. It is just science.
It's not magic. This is 100% it's science. I guess that's a key difference. And yeah, I've accessed a skill tree. I haven't unlocked a lot, but I know that I will get access to like telekinesis, to fire, to ice, that sort of thing. But yeah, in the opening hours, I'm quite impressed with the game. It kind of is what I expected, but not that that's a bad thing. And yeah, I'm very, very, very curious to see where the story goes.
How's the combat so far? Because I know from trailers, there seemed to be a very big emphasis on actually melee combat as opposed to ranged gun combat.
I also, in what I've read up in the game, I remember one of the features that, one of the on the box things, for lack of a better description, is like use your resources carefully, because
like a survival horror almost.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, I must use my melee weapons more, whatever. But I'm currently running around with a pistol and a shotgun, and I'm not like armed to the teeth, but I've got enough ammo that I can just use my guns if I want to. And furthermore, you can craft ammo if you have the resources.
Oh, okay.
So
do they encourage you to do things like shock an enemy and then hit it with a wrench?
I mean, it's close. You know that because you're fighting robots, they are weak to shock damage. And I know that when I unlock the reason I'd unlock the fire perk is because organic enemies, which I haven't encountered yet, will be weak to fire. So there's definitely that balancing of using the right tools for the job. But it is interesting that it said, use your resources carefully. And I feel that I haven't had that issue. Even so, there are vending machines throughout this world where you can, upgrade your character, craft things, upgrade your weapons, craft weapons. You're right. There's an emphasis in melee weapons because I can craft up to 3 at the moment. Like I don't have resources for the rest, but I can do that if I want to focus on that. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I just lost my train of thought.
There's melee weapons you can craft them. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is Jason Eccles in the game?
I don't know. I'm very curious for when you play the game, because so for those of you who don't know, about a week ago or this week, a trailer dropped for Atomic Heart with good guy Jensen Ackles, who you'll all recognize.
Jensen Ackles, sorry. Yeah.
You'll all recognize from either Supernatural or The Boys.
Yeah.
And he's got a very distinct sounding voice. And I think because that trailer's out in the wild, listening to my character P3, to me, it sounds like him. I don't know if that's just me, putting that on myself, but it sounds like him. but there's been no actual confirmation. It would be pretty cool if it is him.
This could be some interesting boys canon, because maybe while he was a prisoner in Russia, they forced him to voice a character in a Russian game. You know?
But it also just, funny enough, in Soldier Boy, in the boys as Soldier Boys, he's a bit of a dick. P3 also is like very, very cocky, arrogant, bit of a dick. So
I was going to ask, because he just like survived this gigantic elevator fall, if you've just watching the footage, and the first thing he did was light a cigarette and take one gigantic drag that had finished the cigarette. Like, what? Is this Duke Nukem? Like, what's going on
The opening of this game is it's like 0 to 1,000. It starts off a bit slow, and then you're just moving from one scene to the next, witnessing shit go down as you're watching now. But yeah, it's an interesting look. I know we pointing fingers saying like it's very Bioshock Infinite, and like, is that a
I
good
mean,
or
to be
bad
fair, we
thing?
haven't
Like,
had one of those in a long time.
No, yeah,
so.
that's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I love the Bioshock franchise. I'm very down for more games like that. So I've enjoyed my opening hours of this game, and I do want to know like where it goes story wise, and what other cool things am I going to unlock and do.
It really does look good. Like, this footage visually,
it's
really good.
It's phenomenal. Like I don't know how big this team is, but man, like kudos to you know all the design people who.
I do remember that was the thing that stuck out when it was, even in 2017 when it was first like announced. Like when it was announced, it was like, oh, this is not coming to these consoles. There's no fucking way.
Yeah,
like it just looked way too good to come to old consoles. I think this is only a new gen release, if I'm not mistaken.
That would make sense to me. It's
wow. I just googled Atomic without the O and no heart, so it very much knew what I was looking for.
Oh, nice.
I will. No, it is coming to old consoles. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well,
last thing I'll say
is
that looting in this game is real fun. Look at this. So you hold down a button and check drawers.
Little tendrils look for things.
Yeah, but look how the drawers all open, and then you just suck everything to you.
Oh, they like pulsate when they near things that can be opened.
It's very
that's
cool.
Pretty cool.
It's
that's like using force powers to loot things.
It's very satisfying. It's like how you open all the drawers. But yeah,
that makes me wonder, why doesn't Cal Kestis use the force when looting things?
Just to loot.
Fallen Order, yeah. He gets his robot to do it. That seems stupid.
What a waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely keep chipping away at this over the next couple of weeks. I think I've looked it up.
I'm keen to start it.
They say so now this is also with a pinch of salt. The developers say like, oh, the playtime will be like around 25 hours, and that's without looking for sort of quote unquote mainlining. I don't know if there's an open world or semi open world hub that I'll get to.
I would say sub 20 then.
I'm also
terms.
Like I don't know. A lot of developers tend to like be very confident.
And also they're careful because nowadays people want really long games. So even if a game isn't like super, super long, people are like when Forspoken could be completed in like 12, 13 hours, people are like, that's so short. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. That seems like a pretty normal thing. Maybe not for an open world RPG, but if this was like 12, 13 hours, it'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what I would expect something like this to be.
I think it'll be 15 to 20 hours, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, 25 seems a bit long for an experience like this.
Because the pace at which, the environments I've gone through, all the not narration, the narrative, the characters talking, the story unfolding, I'm like, that is quite a substantial chunk to follow or quite a thing to do for 20 to 25 hours. Hey, I've been proven wrong before. When as a very, very left field example, when Final Fantasy VII Remake put out that demo, I was like, "There's no way he's going to keep this up for the whole game." And they did. They did.
They did.
You never know. But yeah, that's Atomic Heart. It should be out if you're listening to this on the Monday. I think it's out tomorrow on the Tuesday. It's the 21st of April, if I'm not mistaken. And as you said earlier, it will be on.
You said April. It's 21st of February.
My bad. I'm living in the future.
Yeah, it is Tuesday. So what's weird is that the engine is described as Unreal Engine 5 and 4. So which is it? Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm keen to give it a go. Have a bit of a different type of game to play.